Hello, grade 6, and welcome to Teacher Sean's online math class. Okay, this is the last week for our online math class. Hopefully, the last week. We are still not sure if we will have our face to face this February 1st. Okay, so for now, let's just say that this will be our last class for now. All right. So our last meeting involves introduction to volume. Okay, this is not about finding uh, or knowing how to use the volume uh, to raise the volume of your to raise the sound of your phone or the music. This is mathematical volume. Okay, so since we did our introduction, let's just have a small review on that. So this is our volume. Volume is defined as the three-dimensional space occupied by an object. Okay? And our second vocabulary is cubic unit. Is the measurements such as cubic meter, centimeters, cubic inch, foot, and so on. Okay, so we have only two vocabularies today. That will be volume and cubic unit. Finding the volume of an object can help us determine the amount of units required to fill that object, like the amount of water needed to fill a bottle or an aquarium. Okay, like I said last time in class, an example of this would be how much water do we need to fill a 1 liter bottle? Okay, we have 1 liter bottle. How much water do we need? Obviously, we need 1 liter of water to fill a 1 liter bottle. Okay, very simple. And also, finding the volume is also asking how many cubes can fit in this singular solid shape. Okay, and don't forget the things to remember: the distance, the units are millimeters, centimeters, meters. Our area, the units are millimeter squared, centimeter squared, and meter squared. Okay, and also our volume is millimeter cube, centimeter cube, and meter cube. Please don't forget the difference between squared and cube. Okay, here is our 1 unit cubic or 1 cubic unit. Once again, this area right here, this area right here is our height. Okay, height, and also length and width. Okay, all of these are 1 unit. Okay, it does not say centimeter or meters, it only says unit, so it can be any. All right. Oh, I forgot. The volume for formula for volume is the first formula, which is area of base times height. Once again, I forgot to cross length because length is part of the base. Okay, so it's height, area of base times height. Also, our second formula is length times width times height. Okay, it's a small review so that everyone can get up to date. All you have to do to find the volume of this rectangular prism, it's very easy. All you have to do is count how many cubes. Okay, since there's only one row of cube or one layer of cube, sorry, one row, uh, we'll only count here. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As well as this, all you have to do is count. You can't really use the formulas. Okay, so you have to count. And also don't forget hidden, the hidden what? The hidden cubes. Very good. Okay, the hidden cubes here and down here. Okay, there are 3 hidden cubes. Okay, once again, we did our formula, which is the base times height. Base consists of the length right here and our width. Okay, and we multiply it with our height, and we get our volume. Now, we use this one for the second formula, which is length times width times height. So right here is our length. Sorry, let me cross that out. It should be length, and this should be width, okay? And we multiply with height. We get our volume. Okay, now that we're done with that, we also learned about this last class, but I did not post a video clip on this, okay? So let's continue with this. Let's relearn this topic, which is finding the volume of a cuboid or a cubic unit. So once again, volume measures the space filled up by the object. Formula for finding the volume is volume times length times width times height, or base times height. Okay, now like I said last class, labeling the areas of, or sorry, labeling the dimensions of a cube or a cuboid is very important. So you have to know where is the length. Okay, this right here, this black arrow is our length. The width is our yellow arrow. Okay, it's covering the side of the cube, and the height covers the vertical line of the cube. Okay, that is how high the cube is. As you can see, they're all the same height. So that's 3 centimeter, 3 length, and 3 width. Okay, 3 height, length, and width. So if we input that, length is 3 centimeters, width it is 3 centimeters, height is 3 centimeters. Okay, so we also have to multiply that. So 3 times 3, let me write that, 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Okay, now that it's crossed out, this becomes 9. So 9 times 3 is how much? 9, 18, 27. Very good. So our volume is equal to 27 centimeters squared. Okay, please do not forget centimeters squared. This is very important. If you forget to write this in your midterm exam, it will count as a 0. Understood? Okay, very good. I hope everyone understands this part or this lesson, which is finding the volume of a cuboid using our second formula, which is volume equals length times width times height. Okay, now we have another example. It's the same formula that we can use, but let's try base times height. So its volume is equal to base times height. All right. So that's our first formula. Now, our first step, very simple. All we have to do, all we have to do is to, what do you call this, label. All we have to do is label our cube. So this right here, I will highlight, is our length. And from top to bottom, this side right here is our height. Okay, I hope everyone can see that yellow highlighter. And on the side, along the side, is our width. Okay, now that we have labeled our cube or cuboid, we are ready to solve the problem. So we have to find base. Base consists of length and width. Okay, it can be here at the bottom. It can also be here at the top, length and width. Okay, it's still the same. So 5 times 1, let me write that down. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. This is basic multiplication. Okay, now our base is 5. All we have to do is input that base times our height, which is 2 centimeters. So it's 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. Okay, and also the important part before you move on to the next question, don't forget to write the units. Centimeter cube. Okay, so that's our answer. The volume of this cuboid right here is 10 centimeter cube. Now, notice I called this shape a cuboid instead of a cube. Why? First of all, length is 5 centimeters. The width is 1, and the height is 2. See the difference? If this shape is a cube, then that means length is 5, height is 5, and width is also 5. Okay, a cube has equal sides or equal faces. Sorry, not equal faces, equal measurements. There you go. Okay. Hope everyone understands this lesson. Let's move on to our second example. Okay, once again, this is from your book. So you can check, and I think this is page 245 in your math book. Okay, so let's try this. This time we're going to use our second, sorry, that is a bad line. Our second, what do you call this? Formula. Very good. Do not forget the formula for finding the volume. Okay, there are two formulas only. Very easy to remember. It's base times height or length times width times height. Okay, so now we're going to use this. So first thing that we should do is to actually label the cuboid. So this side right here is our length. Okay. This side right here, or this edge, is our width. Everyone with me so far? Width. And last one, the vertical line or the vertical edge is always our height. So that means our height is 3 centimeters. All right, now that we have identified our cuboid, all we have to do is input that information. So length is equal to 2 centimeters times width, which is 2 centimeters as well, times our height, which is 3 centimeters. Okay, just let me see in there. All right, this is almost a cube instead of a cuboid. Okay, if this is 1 centimeter less, this shape would be a cube. Okay, do not forget to write volume is equal to. All right, so our first step is to multiply these two. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And 4 times 3 is equal to 4, 8, 12. Okay. So volume is equal to 12 centimeter squared or cubed. Since we are dealing with a 3D shape, we are going to input cube. Okay, if it's 2D or if it's only a square instead of a cube, it's squared. Okay, 2 is squared and 3 is cubed. I hope everyone knows that. Okay, I hope you know the difference between cube and square. If not, I will put it in our midterm exam. Okay. Okay, now this one is a little bit different. And we can use both, actually, we can use both formulas. But if you can see here, in our length, we have a fraction, okay, a fraction. Now, this is very terrifying because I don't like fractions. It's very scary for me. Sometimes I think that I cannot do it. But if we can just breathe and try to work this out, it will be easy. All right, so let's start with our fraction. All we have to do is when we see a fraction, we have to simplify. Okay, simplify. Say it with me, simplify. Let me annotate that word down. Simplify. Okay, my students, sorry, I know you know this word. Let me write it in a different color. Okay, I know you know this word because I'm always telling you what that means or what simplified means. Okay, simplified is um, to make it simple. Okay, so we have our fraction, which is 2 and 1/2 right here. So if we look at here, all we have to do is multiply 2 and 2. Okay, 2 and 2, 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so what we can do is actually cross this out, and this becomes 4. Very good. Okay, so our answer is 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. As you can see here, I have already written the answer, 5. And don't forget, don't forget that we keep the denominator. Okay, so our 2 is our denominator, and we keep it in our new equation, which is 5 over 2, 5 over 2. Okay, now this is optional for each and every one of you. You can convert this into a fraction, or sorry, you can make this into a fraction, which is 2 over 1 and 2 over 1, if you feel comfortable that way. If not, you can just leave it as 2. Okay, so our next step right here, our next step is to eliminate 2. Okay, we have 2 here and 2 here, and as well 2 here. But we're only going to eliminate 1. Okay, so it's just one of the 2. So this becomes 1, and this becomes 1 as well. Okay, can everyone see that? Try another color. Try white. Okay, this becomes 1. This becomes 1. This is crossed out or cut. All right. Now that it's clearly visible, we are left with 5 times 2. We only have 2 numbers left, 5 and 2. So if we multiply that together, 5 times 2 is equal to 10 centimeter squared. All right. Let me just let me write down 3 here. I don't know how to type it. Okay, that's a 3, sorry. Do not forget the units, okay? The unit is centimeter squared. It's very important, or else I wouldn't know what the unit is. I wouldn't know if it's inches or foot. It would not make sense, okay? I forgot to tell you that these numbers are our height and our width, right? That should be actually pretty logical or pretty obvious, given that we did our length times width formula. Now, if we do base times height, you can tell length times width. Okay, length times width is here. This is our length, and this is our width. Now, 5 over 2 times 2. What we did is cross out, same thing, and we are left with height. right here, which is 2. So it's the same thing, just a different process, a little bit different, but I think base times height is much faster because you don't have to write down, or you don't have to solve. Okay. All right, that is done. Sorry, let's move on. All right, we have some more examples here from the book. Okay. And let's start with this one, letter E. This is letter E. So we can use volume is equal to base times height. Let's try that. Base times height. Now, if you're not sure of where the length, width, and height are, this is our length, this is our width, and this is our height. All right, so let's input that. Base consists of length and width. So it's 3 times 2. Okay, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Now, this is our base. 6 is our base. All we have to do is multiply by height, which is 3. So it's 6 times 3. Let me write here our answer. Volume is equal to 6 times 3. 6, 12, 18. Okay. Our answer is 18 centimeter cube. Okay, that's a white background. I hope everyone can see that. All right. Let's move on to letter F. We have equal units or equal measurements. Okay, so this is a perfect cube. Everything is 2 centimeters. So let's try that. Base times height again. I know I'm doing too much base times height, but the reason is because I want everyone to be familiar with this formula, because length times width times height is too simple. Okay, it's easy to do. Everyone can do it. But for those who don't know base times height, this is a good practice for you. Once again, base times height consists of length and width. So it's 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is equal to 4 times our height, which is 2. Okay, let me write down volume is equal to 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. Okay, very simple. 8 centimeter cube. All right. Okay. So we're moving on to our next letter, G. This is letter G. As you can see, we have our first fraction. So what we have to do first is to simplify that. We don't have to write it. We could actually do it mentally. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And 4 plus 1, okay, this is crossed out. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5 over 2. Can everyone see that? Very good. Okay, 5 over 2. We get our 2, and we kept it as our denominator. Okay, so now that it's simpler to multiply, let's take 5 over 2. Take note, we are doing our length times width times height. So this is our length times width is 2 times 2. Okay, once again, from a previous clip, our next step in solving this equation is to cross out. Let me get another, let's try pink. Okay, cross out 2, okay, and both of them become 1. So the only numbers left are 5 and 2. Now, if we multiply that together, 5 times 2 is equal to 10 centimeter cube. All right, there you go. Very easy, as long as you remember how to simplify the fraction. Now, we're moving on to our second Second, the question involving fraction. Once again, we have to simplify. So it's 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Cut that out. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Okay, so this becomes 3 over 2. Okay, this is our length. All right, if your cube or cuboid looks like this, once again, it's just tilted or shifted into a different direction. So this is our length. This is our weight. Sorry, our width, and this right here is our height. Mhm. I only put it here because the number is here. This can also be our height, and it's still 2 centimeters. Okay, now let's try our length times width times height formula. So length is 3 over 2 times our width is 1 times our height, which is 2. Okay, now our next step, once again, is to eliminate 2. Okay, we have here, this becomes 1 and this becomes 1. So the only numbers remaining are 3 and 1. If we multiply that together, 3 times 1 is equal to 3 centimeter cube. Okay, sorry if this workspace is very tight or not enough space. Let me just erase that so that everyone can see. Okay, there you go. Hope you can see the white color. So our answer is 3 centimeters squared. Does everyone understand so far? Okay, let's move on. Oh, look, we are done with our um, topic on finding the volume of a cuboid. Okay, these some things to remember. Do not forget the writing the unit after you wrote the answer. Okay, the unit is part of the answer. So if you only wrote the number, it does not count. Understood? And also, don't forget how to simplify fractions. Okay, after you simplify the fractions, all you have to do is input the formula: length times width times height, or base times height. All right, that is our class for today. I hope to see you if ever everything is okay and approved by the government. I hope everyone will be at class on February 1. If not, please stay put and wait for my next video clip. Okay. Also, I will be putting your assessment on the Google Drive, so please check that out for this clip. Okay. That is all for today. Goodbye, grade 6, and see you soon.